Hello friends, welcome to Azure. In this video, we'll talk about another key component of Microsoft Azure, which is storage. Now let's talk about Azure Storage. So what is Azure Storage? Azure Storage is a cloud-based storage solution provided by Microsoft. So here you can see Microsoft provides different type of storage. Like we have Blob, Azure Files, Azure Tables, we have Azure Queues, and then we have database. Alright, now here we are talking about the storage. So we are not going to talk about the database. So we'll discuss about the Azure database in the next video, but here we'll talk about the Azure storage types. Microsoft provides different storage types to keep the different type of the data. Now let's talk about the types of the data. So primarily we have three types of the data. One is the structured data, then we have semi-structured, and then we have unstructured data. So structured data is just like whatever you see in your database in a table. Every single record is a structured data because it follows a predefined schema or a fixed format, right? In Azure, we have Cosmos DB or Azure MySQL database to keep the structured data. Let's move forward. The next one is semi-structured data. Semi-structured data is kind of structured, but not exactly the structured data. And you cannot keep the semi-structured data in the database because it doesn't follow any kind of schema. Examples like we have JSON, XML files, and CSVs. In Azure, we have Azure Tables to keep the semi-structured data. All right. Now the next one is unstructured data. Unstructured data is data which is not organized in a predefined manner or does not have a predefined data model. So you cannot go and simply keep unstructured data in a relational database. The examples like audio, video files, images, and whatever you see on social media platforms, emails and chats are example of unstructured data. In Azure, we have Azure Files and Azure Blob Storage to keep the unstructured data. All right, so here we are done with the types of the data. I hope you have got a basic understanding of the data types. Let's move forward. All right, now let's talk about the storage types. So primarily Azure provides queue storage, table storage, blob storage, file storage, and disk storage. So we'll talk about each one here in this video, and then we'll see how do we create one. All right, let's move forward. So the very first one is Azure Blob Storage. Blob stands for binary large object, and this is basically used to keep the large amount of the data, large amount of the unstructured data like text or binary, audio, video, and images can also be stored in the blob. Files are stored in a directory like structure called a container. So basically when you go and create a blob storage, you always need to go and create a container. We'll see what is a container. And blobs can be accessed through HTTP or HTTPS URL. Azure provides three different types of blob. One is block blob, then we have append blob, and then we have paste blobs. All right. Now I'll go to the Azure portal and let's go and create one blob storage. All right, I'm here. Now, first of all, we need to always have a storage account. Without having a storage account, we cannot go and create any type of storage in Azure. So we always need to have one storage account. So let's go and create one. I'll make it very quick. We need to have one resource group, and here I'm going to put the storage account name. Let's go and create a blob storage. So I'll call it OK Azure Blob Storage. Let's do things as is. Let's go and create the storage account. All right, it's done. So you can see here like OK Azure Blob Storage is our storage account. Now to keep data in a blob storage account, you always need to have a container. All right, so you can have as many containers as you want, and then you can upload your data into the containers. For example, I want to keep my videos in a container. I'll call it as videos, that is my container name, and access level you can go and choose depending on your business requirement. But for now, I'll simply go and click the second one. If I have to create another one, I can simply go and create another container. For example, I just want to keep images inside this particular container. Is you always need to have containers to keep your data in a blob storage. Now, how do we upload? So if you click here, simple, here is an option to upload. For example, let's go and upload a video. So I simply go and select a video file to upload in the blob storage. So you can see it's uploading. It's done. So here you can see in our videos container, we have one video. Let me close. Let's go and upload a image in image container. So simply I can go and I can select one. For example, I'll keep this one. So here you can see so now we know how to create a container and how to upload data. Now let's talk about how can we access. So for example, I have to access the image. So I'll go here in the images container and then I'm going to click on this particular image. So you see there is an URL attached to this particular item. If I go and open this URL in the browser, I'll see the image, right? So basically you can use this URL to access the data which is residing in your container. For example, I have to access the video. So here is the URL to access the video, just to verify. So here
Hello
you can see,
friends.
right? So this is how you can go and upload data in a container, and you can access the data just by using the URLs. Let me close everything. I hope now you guys know about the blob storage. Now let's proceed. Now the next one is Azure Tables. As the name suggests, it stores the data in the form of tables, but these tables are no SQL tables. It means there is no schema. It does not follow any kind of schema. No SQL means that this database does not follow any schema for defining tables like in RDBMS. And Azure Tables stores the data in the key value format, right? Azure Tables storage is ideal for storing structured non-relational data. So that we'll see here in this video. If you talk about the key components, we always need to have one storage account, then a table, then an entity. So entity is kind of a row or a record in your RDBMS. The common thing or the unique thing about an entity is that every single entity will have partition key, row key, and a timestamp. And then we have properties. So properties are like key value pairs, the data that you want to keep. So here, what I want to do is let's go to the Azure portal and let's go and create Azure table. All right. As I told you earlier, we always need to have a storage account to create Azure storage. Now, either I can just go and make use of the same storage account that we created earlier, or what I can do is I can just go and create a new one, calling it as Azure Table Storage. All right. I'll keep rest of the things as is. I'll simply click on next, and then create. All right. So now we have our storage account ready. You can see here, okay, Azure Table Storage. Now let's go and create a table. So here in the left hand side menu, you will see table service and then you have tables. Let's go and create one and I'll call it as employee table. Okay. So here is our table. So similarly, I can go and create multiple tables. For example, I want to create here another table called department table. So you can see it's easy to create tables here. Now, but if you go and select this one, you cannot do much here with these tables in the Azure portal. And now, if you want to play with the Azure tables, you need to have something called Azure Storage Explorer. Okay, if you go to google.com and simply type Azure Storage Explorer, you simply go and download this one. Okay, it's here. But for me, I already have Azure Storage Explorer installed on my machine. So I simply go and start. Now, if you guys are using for the first time, it will ask you to log in here. But for me, see, I have already logged in, so I'm okay here. And here you can see storage account. So I have two storage account under my subscription. One is OK Azure Blob Storage and second one is OK Azure Table Storage. So if I go here down, if I go to the tables here, I can see the tables. So I have two tables. One is department table and one is employee tables. Here you can see. So at the moment, nothing is there. If I have to add, let me just go and click add entity. So if you see, partition key and row key will be there all, and it will be always unique. So for example, here we are talking about the employee. So I'll call it as partition key PK001. I'm just putting some random data here and row key RK001 insert, right? And now, for example, let me just go and create one more PK002, sorry, PK002 and then RK002. Now I have to add some properties here. For example, I have to add the name. So let me just call it something David. I can just go and create the another property called david@gmail.com. I can put another property called city. So let me just call it as Delhi and let me click on insert. So if you see here, let me just go and create one more record. So this time I'll just want to create partition key PK003 and row key is RK003. Name, for example, I'll call it as Peter. Email, for example, I don't have the email, but yeah, I do have the city, so I'll call it as so DNEY Sydney. And let's go and add one more property. Let's call it as phone. I just want to add some numbers here. Okay. Similarly, I can go and add one more property called, what shall I add here? Let's go and put as here. And I'll go and create, say, 34. Let me go and insert. So if you see here, I have three data here or three entities in my table and there is nothing common. The only thing which is common is the partition key and the row key, and this timestamp will be there by default for you. Now you see the data structure, right? It is not in sync. All right. Now if I have to run some sort of SQLs, I can simply go here. For example, I want to search for this one only. Okay, matching this one. Let me just go and run. So if you see, I'm looking for a record where partition key is this one PK001 and row key is this one. So here's our record, right? But yeah, in this video, we are not going to talk about the Storage Explorer, but this is how you can go and create a table. And by using the Storage Explorer, you can go and access your tables, you can insert records, you can delete, and you can do a lot more. Let's move forward. Now the next one is Azure File Storage. So file storage enables you to create network file shares that can be accessed by using SMB. It stores data on a file share that can be mounted as a local directory on Azure VMs and can be accessed by on-premises applications using REST APIs. To create a file storage, we need to have a storage account, then a file share, and inside that you can just go and create as many directories as you want, and then you can upload whatever data you want. So again, let's go back to the Azure portal. Let's go and create a file storage. All right, so here we are. Now for this Azure files here, we are not going to create a new storage account. What we'll do is we'll go to our resource group and then we'll go to our storage account. So we'll go and make use of OK Azure Blob Storage. Okay, so here we'll go and create a file share. So here in the left hand side you see file services and then you see here file shares. Let's go and create. Let's go and create one. So I'll call it as running docs is my file share and I have to give here the size. Let's go and create the 2 GB for now, just for this video. All right, so this is our file share. If I want, I can go and create multiple. For example, here you can say month end reports, again 2 GB. So this is how you can go and create multiple file shares inside our storage account. Now let's go and choose this one, training docs. So now I have to create a folder. So this is exactly similar to your SharePoint. For example, I have to go and create here called IT training. And let me just go and get one more training for, you can say, HR training. And I can go and create one more training here called business docs, something like that. So this is how you can go and create multiple directories inside your file share, and then you can upload the data. For example, now I have to upload some data in my IT-training directory. So click here. Now you see at the moment nothing is there. If I want, I can go and create new, or you can say subdirect, add one call level 01, training material for level 01. So this is a subdirectory. So let me just close everything from here. So training docs is our file share, and here there are three directories. If I go inside IT training, there will be one more, level 0. Similarly, I can go and create another one called level 2. Now let's go and upload something here. So you can see here's the button to upload data, browse. So now here I can put upload, I can upload images, documents, or whatever I want. So this is just like your regular folder. Upload, let me just go and upload a document here. I have to find first. Okay, let me just go and pick the text file. It's uploaded. So this is how you can go and upload the data inside the directories. So now we know how to create a file share, how to create subdirectories, and how to upload the data. Right. Now the next question is that how can we connect, how can we mount this particular file share to our virtual machine? So you can see an option to call here on top. It says connect. If you click on this one, you will see there is a command to connect, to mount this particular file share to your machine. Right? If you're using a Windows machine, this is the command that you need to copy and run this command by using your PowerShell. If you're using Linux machine or Mac OS, here is the command for you. So you simply just need to copy this command, run this command in your PowerShell, and then you would be able to access this particular file share as a local directory in your machine. As of now, I don't have any VM, so I cannot show you guys, but this is how you can do it. Let's move forward. Now the next one is Azure Queues. As name suggests, this is used to queue up messages, transfer them within the application. The process can interact with queues. It can pick up messages, perform the required operation, and probably save the results either on a storage or in a database. Now, if you see at the top level, you need to have an account, a storage account. Then in the account, you can go and create queues depending on your business requirement. And then you can put or get the messages in the queue. All right. Now let's go back to the Azure portal. Let's go and create a queue. Let's play with this one. All right. I'm here. Now, again, to create a queue, we need to have a storage account. So for this, let's go and make use of the same storage account. Okay, Azure Blob storage account. Let's go and create a queue. So if you see here in the left hand side menu, under queue services, there is an option called queues. Click on that. Now let's go and create a queue. So let me call it as test queue or 01. Test queue. So it's easy to create a queue in Azure. Now let's go inside this one. So if you see, you just have two options enabled for you. One is refresh and one is add message. And the other two options, which is dequeue and clear queue, is disabled for you as of now because there is no message in your queue. Let's go and create one. First message. So if you see, there are two properties. One is this one, expiry. You can go and select whatever you want. Let me just go and select 7 minutes. And here you have two options. One is message never expires. If you want, you can enable this checkbox, and if you do not want, leave as is unchecked. Now, second option is very important. If you click on this one, encode, it will encrypt your message. So when you retrieve your message, you won't be able to read the message. You need to decode this particular message. So for now, I'll just keep as is and okay. So here you can see we have one message. If I click on DQ, it will just pick the latest message and clear from the queue. Okay, it's gone. Let me just go and create another one. First message, I'll simply go and create one more called second message. Now if I click on clear queue, it will just clear all the messages from the queue. It's gone, right? So this is how you can go and create a queue. You can put a message, you can read the message. So we'll see how can we make use of Azure CLI to put a message into the queue and to read a message from a queue, but in the next video. All right, so here we are done with the Azure Storage component. And in the next video, we'll talk about the Azure database. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe my channel.